Do I get out like the synopses?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Obviously, I don't have any facts or anything for this movie.
VHS 99 is a 2022 American found footage horror anthology film, the fifth installment in the VHS film series. Features segments from Johannes Roberts, Vanessa and Joseph Winter, Maggie Levin, Tyler McIntyre, and Flying Lotus.
Yeah, he directed and co-wrote the game show.
So we did it.
Yeah.
We just wrapped watching it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, big time.
There's a kind of a wraparound, even though they say there isn't one this time, but there sort of is. Not people discovering videotapes, which I think is usually what happens.
Okay.
Something we check in with and out of. So the first story,
I'm Jules.
and I'm Jason.
And
we
doing spookies.
I like how I feel like we don't know what we're doing because we've never done it this way before.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
I believe I saw the original VHS.
With me?
Possibly, yeah.
And Holly, maybe?
Is it like there's a succubus in a motel room?
She's more of like a gargoyle?
Something.
Gargoyle succubus?
Yeah, something.
Succulus?
She had wings, I do recall that.
Yeah, and she's like, she would talk weird. Help me. Just looking for a mate.
Yeah.
And they had the camera glasses.
I haven't seen any other VHS other than that one.
I think I watched one segment from the second one. I think I ended up watching the third one. And then when the fourth one came out, I was like, I'm going to watch it right away. Fourth one was pretty good. There's two segments I liked a lot.
I didn't think this one was good at all.
It's all right.
I know.
What was the first? Oh, the first one's the shitty punk rock band. That's the 99 punk. What? Rack? Is that the name of their band?
Rack, fuck, shit!
Yeah, it's some sort of an acronym. I agree with you when you had said it at the time. They really did a pitch perfect job encapsulating the era that this is supposed to take place in.
The skateboarding, middle finger era.
Yeah, the like jackass.
CKY2K.
Uh-huh. But boy, it was a pretty dumb story.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt some good dread. I mean, that's
I didn't
why I was
feel
getting
any.
creeps. I'm pretty good with the horror movies where I feel like I can put myself in them.
Yeah, sometimes I can get lost in it. This just felt very cornball the entire time.
Well, so they're the shitty band, and they're like, we're gonna break into the colony.
Yeah, there was some sort of an underground. Was this all in L.A.?
I don't know. It reminds me of the Paris catacombs where they had there's a section of it that was set up for like viewing experiences or concerts.
Yeah.
And when it was discovered, people went down there again, and it was completely emptied, and there was like a note
that read, "Do not try to find us."
In real life?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know. It was mentioned on Reddit.
Was it the underground pleasure palace of a super criminal, or simply the business venture of some tax dodger?
When I was in was I in LA?
San Pedro.
There was a hotel on the edge of a cliff face that was built, I don't know when, back in
1929.
I don't like that. Did you stay there or you just saw it?
Oh no, in the
1929.
It collapsed off the edge of the continent.
The city kind of knew something was up when a water line broke at the Ocean View Inn, and then 2 days later, a gas line broke.
Well, it's nice. My reaction of I don't like that was correct.
Yeah, and then of course, it was then just, I think, like left to ruin.
The part that fell?
Mm-hmm. The entire, as far as I remember, the entire hotel fell. You can climb down there and everything. We didn't. We kind of walked. There's like a sort of a trail, and then if you jump over a fence, you can go even further down.
Is it intact or is it a pile of rubble?
It's nothing now. I think there's like a concrete slab that was some part of it.
Oh,
but,
why would you go down there then?
I don't know. Maybe you could like go under some rocks or something. I don't know.
Did anybody die?
In it? I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
No.
An innkeeper maybe.
I'm going to look this up later.
Do that. I wish I could remember anything more about it, but it's escaping me. I think it was in San Pedro, though. That helps narrow your search.
West Paseo del Mar near Point Furman Park.
So yeah, these kids are like, hey, we're totally punk. Our band totally rules.
All right, everyone try not to suck, okay?
So got a little bit of that Avril Lavigne edge to it.
Mainly because that girl hopping around.
Mm-hmm. Going, hey! And they're like, there was this great underground venue that you had mentioned.
The infamous Colony Underground.
Where 4 years?
3 years prior.
3 years ago to the day.
This is 99. It happened in 96.
Oh. Wait, seriously?
Yeah, March 6, 1996.
It's March 5th.
There was a fire that broke out, and there's 4 people that died.
Legend has it their bodies only burned after being trampled to death by their own fans.
But they were the members of the band Bitch Cat, who apparently, once the panic ensued, they were trampled to death. Well, trampled and then burned to death.
They crushed their heroes underfoot without a second thought.
So this hot, young, up-and-coming group, Rack Nation? What is it?
Maybe.
Something? Rack Community?
Rack, fuck,
they think it's a good idea to go down there on the anniversary and play a show.
Rack is going to the Colony Underground to play a show on whatever's left of that stage.
Maybe steal some gear.
There's anything that works.
And talk mad shit.
And talk mad shit. And, you know, they're riding the one guy, Mumphrey or Kunri.
Anchor?
Oh, yeah. Anchor?
Anchor?
Who, was he Indian? Was he Pakistani? Didn't he say something about an
There are
Indian
these stories, okay? Hindu stories.
Oh, yeah, the
curse? Or
Buddha?
Buddha. He did mention Buddha.
Boobs.
It's not Buddha. No, the thing.
The
ghost
thing.
things.
Yeah. I didn't catch what that was, what he had
I
said.
said Buddha.
Yeah, because when he...
Butha?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Because when he left, I thought he said, I hope Buddha
Butha.
fucks you up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Buddha don't be doing that.
No, Buddha nice.
And he's got some sort of a powder, or so they get down there, and it looks like somebody had been living down there. There's a shrine. They're
Oh, yeah.
totally riding Unker.
Yeah.
They're riding the shit out of him.
Yeah, they're real mean to him.
Real mean to him. They're calling him because he had to stop home first to get whatever.
The bag of spices they keep calling
So
it.
you went home and got a baggie of spices? They're like ghost-killing spices?
Some cardamom and
Probably some blessed
nutmeg.
herbs. I don't know.
With its blend of 11 herbs and spices.
But then, as they dig deeper, they come across the main room, the band room, the playroom, and his drums are set up on the stage.
Surprise, bitch!
It's like, what the fuck?
You guys fucking suck.
And they're like, we got you, dude.
We broke into your house and set him up down here.
Did you steal us out of my house?
Yeah, I fucking did. What are you gonna do about it?
You guys are fucking unreal.
So then they're like, fuck it, let's play. And he counts to like 7 or 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and
They
8.
start playing. And then
And this is when we find out they're a terrible band. Because before we didn't hear their music, we just saw them rocking out in video montages.
yeah, it's pretty.
They're horrible.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, the singer, guitar player, and the bassist like lock up. And they're like
They're being electrocuted almost.
almost, yeah. And then Ankar is like, what the hell? Are y'all messing with me? And
They stick to it for a little bit too long.
they do. And then they're like, we're just ribbing you. It's good
Fuck
nature."
you, haha, you're a pussy.
Your mom's a bitch too.
You said bitch though.
And so he's like, fuck this shit, man. Y'all can piss off. And he grabs his drumsticks, leaves his drums.
Yeah,
which-
good call. Why? Yeah,
I mean, it's a good call, but if nothing terrible happens, you still gotta find your way back down there. And it's like how
I'd let it
many-
go. My drums are gone.
Well,
I'm not playing
You're definitely
music
not
anymore.
playing in that band. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many trips do you think they made down there?
One.
Because they got his drums down there. Apparently they're amps, because nobody came with anything. And blow-up dolls full of Jello. Because they were like, when he storms off, they're like, all right, we're gonna simulate how
Many times you have to be stomped to explode? Or-
Yeah, and he jumps off the stage on one of them, and it blows up immediately.
They're really disrespectful and rude this whole time. They're so shitty to Bitch Cat, which we saw also. There was a great video of them in '96, like
Yeah.
a promo reel.
Straight out of like MTV.
I mean, what's a party without a little bit of violence?
Yeah, like they're real cool,
Fuck,
talking to the
man.
camera.
We're road warriors, man.
We aren't made by a corporation, and
There's gonna be a real revolution coming soon.
Mhm,
It's
somebody-
the wages.
one of them gives a double middle finger to the camera, and so all of a sudden,
The most obnoxious one of
the
them.
tall dickhead, he
Yeah.
gets sucked up to the ceiling.
And then
Well, yeah, and yeah, it just rains men at that point.
yeah, I mean he was the one that was talking about stomping
How
them,
hard is it to crush 4 chicks to death?
making them pop.
Let's find out.
One.
And then what they do? They popped them.
Die.
And at all this time, they had the camera sitting on the floor. All of a sudden, it starts to raise, and the gal, she's like catatonic, like, oh my god. And
Yeah.
that's not a good description of being catatonic.
No, and Chris already is bolted.
Yeah, he goes, fuck this shit. And he takes off. So then she skedaddles as well. And this is where it goes off the rails for me.
Yeah, this is when we see the Return of the Living Dead zombies.
It turns into like a skit from like an Elvira special or something.
interplanetary perverts.
They look terrible. They're herky-jerky. They're messing around. I mean, I guess they're just having a girl time.
They're burned. They're all fucked up.
Yes, they are very burned.
Burned and dead.
They look like they just came out of They Live.
I've got one that can see.
and they're gonna play some pranks on these youngsters. And,
Yeah, it's their version of the cool video.
yeah, they pin the one person up against the wall and start ripping out their guts.
Yeah, I think just start ripping the torso apart and then rip the head loose.
See, it's weird because at some points they're together. At other points, it seems like it's just the one with the camera.
Yeah.
She's following the singer who's like banging on doors, and I could have sworn I saw a green exit sign at the very end of that hallway when she's banging on those doors.
I mean, they're sealed in there though. Whatever's going on, they're sealed in.
True, but why would there be a powered electric exit sign in a dilapidated, cavernous cesspool?
Well, this seems like it's just below like another regular warehouse or something. It should have been bulldozed and destroyed, but
so
also, how is there a fire? Everything's stone.
That's a good question. Also, like, because it's empty, we're gonna sound like shit no matter what.
Yeah.
And in fact, you could tell how like cavernous and echo laden
when they tried to rock out.
When they did rock out.
Yeah.
And so the boy who fled, he didn't make it far.
Yeah, we thought maybe he got out.
Well,
of all the people, we wanted him to get away.
Yeah, he even said,
"This place is a total maze. So many hallways."
So he was not gonna make it out of there. And one of them approaches him, and he throws his sparkle dust on them.
And he says, "Go to your final resting place."
Mm-hmm. And they like melt.
Yeah,
right?
So that one's dead.
That I would assume so.
It's over.
But he must not have brought enough.
Yeah, what's up with that? I thought he was going to sprinkle them all. So then we cut to the girl, the girl that's running, the lead singer.
Yeah, and do they just start ripping her apart?
I think she goes off camera, and they start chucking the pieces of her against the
Right,
wall.
she goes into a room, her foot comes out, her arm comes out.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what parts they were, and then the zombie comes out and starts playing with the parts.
Yeah,
and
does this foot go on this leg?
You're putting it back together? Why?
The other one pulls the torso out, and she's like, "Oh, I think the leg goes down there," and then pretty much it cuts to now the band reassembled somehow, like marionettes,
like meat puppets,
playing music. Maybe I didn't catch if it was the Bitch Cat song or not.
That's a good question, but Bitch Cat seems to be laughing about it.
Yeah, they're having a jolly old time, even though we don't see who's. I guess they're controlling the bodies, but
I don't know.
It's weird.
How would they be controlling them?
I don't know. They did that thing where they do a huddle above the camera. What do they say?
That's what they said when they were alive in their stupid video.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they say now that they're zombie heads.
And the whole time it's a little distracting. They go heavy on the VHS effects.
Yeah, it's a little annoying.
All of a sudden it's fuzzy and we see like a bris or something, and it comes back and it's fuzzy and we see like a jackass stunt and
tapes that have been recorded over too many times.
So I guess my main question is, are we just privy to these tapes?
Yeah, where'd this tape come from?
Are we in hell watching this?
I don't know. In the other ones, the tapes, somebody has like collections of them.
Yeah, right.
People are watching them. In that first one, they're like looking for the tapes, right?
I think so.
The dead creature starts killing them off one by one as they're trying to get the cursed tapes.
And I think it pretty much just ends then, right?
Yeah. So what do you say about that first one?
It was
not good.
It was pretty garbage.
You got anything nice to say about it?
I liked, like I said, they did a really good job making it feel like the night. It gave me like real hardcore nostalgia for when I was 16, and because one of my friends, he had a video camera because his parents had like all the tech at the time, So he would often record us just out being idiots and partying and shit.
Were we all doing that? Because me and my friend Dan used to do this too.
I think so.
Prank the people in the drive-thrus of the fast food places.
Yeah.
It would just...
We's a little juice.
We did some stop motion stuff. It was real dumb.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, the stop motion through line. That was very weird. But I guess it does pay off, right? Because that's the kid who's
in segment 3 or 4.
Yeah, wait.
He's the nerdy brother.
He's the okay. That makes sense. Because I'm like, wait, why was he posing? But so then, it's over. Bitch cat out.
I kind of liked it a little bit. It was kind of stupid. I mean, I felt the dread when they were gonna go down to the colony, this cursed place where the deaths have happened, and they're gonna disrespect it, and only the friend with religion in his life a little bit is like, this is a bad idea. I was right there with him, and I said, this is why you guys are gonna die.
I think it was too busy to really build up any palpable sense of dread for me. It's like, just like I said, with all the VHS like effects and everything, it's just like, okay. just take it back a little bit.
So you give it an 8 on the spookometer?
Yeah. So we see a little bit more of the kid playing with his army men. That gets a little bit more surreal as time goes by. And then we go to the second installment of this anthology, which I'm already forgetting what it was.
It's the sorority girl.
Hello.
She's
Oh,
pledging
that's right.
by camera.
I want you girls to be my friends for life, and I'm not going to apply to any more sororities.
Suicide
You guys
pledge.
are nothing. A suicide pledge.
I'd never heard of that.
She's cutie.
She kind of, I want to feel like she was reminding me of like maybe Aubrey Plaza a little bit.
Okay.
But no, you know who it was? New Girl.
Zoe Deschanel?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she's cute, and then her roommate comes in, is like,
You're only putting one sorority on your application.
you shouldn't do that. Those girls seem mean.
You saw the way they looked at us when they showed us around.
Mm-hmm.
It's social suicide.
I mean, you really think they'll say yes to people like us?
She's like, maybe for you.
No, not us.
Yeah, she's a real snot.
And then we cut to
Hard
pledge
cut.
night, where
Yeah.
it's like 3 days later, 4 days later.
Must be, yeah. It's now one of the sorority girls is filming. Apparently in post, they were able to combine all of this footage. Jeep pulls up. The rest of the sorority sisters are in it, and so is the main character, whose name I don't remember.
Lily.
And she's just wasted. She can barely stand up. They're dragging her, and
Turns out Lily here really likes to party.
they get into like
I guess
church?
it's a church, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, is this a mausoleum? Are those
Mausoleum.
drawers they're gonna pull bodies out of?
Yeah, it felt a little bit like a crypt.
It's too big though. It's very too much like a church. And
Yeah.
the architecture looked like that, and there's a graveyard out back.
Yeah, they reveal a fairly raised ceiling and maybe even some stained glass. And so they're like, hey, check it out.
Giltine was a pretty young freshman who went here to TCU maybe 20 years ago. She wanted to join a sorority. Our sorority. Just like you.
She was a suicide pledge also.
Yeah, Yetl.
Sure.
Yentl.
Ella.
Yeti.
Giltine.
And what the girls ended up doing to her was
They told her that in order to be a part of their sorority,
they were like, you got
she had
to spend the night in
buried
a coffin. And they put her in there.
Only they didn't just leave her there for a night.
No, they left her down there for 7 days.
An entire week.
At which point, I guess she died and went to hell.
We don't know because they say when they went back,
There was no one in it.
the
It was
coffin
empty.
was empty.
Yes, maybe there was a Yetl before her.
Giltine.
Did she go out the back and go straight down to hell is what they say. That's the legend.
Yes. And so they're like, we're going to give you this t-shirt that says you're one of us. But you're going to have to spend the night in the coffin.
And they fucking march her out into the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fucking 6-foot hole dug. These
Yeah.
girls would not have dug this grave.
I wouldn't assume so.
There's a ladder going into the coffin.
There is, yeah.
That's impressive that they don't just make you jump down.
It feels like a 7-foot long coffin. Because if the main girl, let's be generous, is like 5'4",
Yeah.
felt like there was like a good 2 feet.
2 feet clearance above her.
Well,
and
that
2 feet
and,
down.
and from her feet down, yeah.
Not at all like a real coffin.
No, and so she's like, well, all right, I'll do it. And they're like,
There's enough air in a coffin to last you 24 hours. The faster you breathe, the faster you use up your air, so you can't panic.
You can pull this cord at any time, and it'll ring the bell. And we'll come and take you up.
But if you do, you'll have forfeited your place in our sorority.
And if you feel like you're about to give up,
Mm-hmm.
open up this box.
it's like a little pink jewelry box or something.
And they give her a video camera to keep in there with her.
Right, because they want to see how scared she gets. I was expecting a lot more night vision
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah, it was well lit. Everything was well lit.
And they're just like, yeah, they're using the lamp.
And if you hear knocking, be quiet. Don't let Yetl
Mm-hmm. Don't
know
let
you're in there.
Yahtzee,
Giltine.
because she knows you're in there. She's going to drag you to hell. TM.
To play with you.
Yeah. So she goes in, man, and they
They
lower
start
the
sho-
fucking lid on her.
Yeah, they shovel the dirt on the top.
And there's like it looked like a crucifix
Oh, yeah, there's
shaped
a-
hole, but I guess there's glass
Yeah.
partition for some reason.
A cross viewing window.
So then, yeah, they start like putting dirt on the fucking thing, and so the girl's in the coffin. She's freaking.
Within like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and she's like talking mad shit to her friend.
You want me to fail so I can end up like you.
Calling her a loser. Who's
Sad and alone every Friday night, wishing any boy would ask you out.
Bitch.
She said, bitch.
And it's so funny because guess what? Both these girls are cuties.
Yeah, oh,
like
yeah.
both of the girls that are like sad and think that they need sororities to have any kind of social life. They're cuties.
Yeah.
What are you doing, cuties?
I just want to, scrunch them up with their button noses and give them raspberries.
Just go out there and meet some boys.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need their help.
Well, the secret is like most boys are still stupid at that 18, 19 year age.
If you talk to the boys first, they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're friends now. And then you get them later.
Yeah.
Get them with some kisses.
Yeah, you invest in the proper vessel, and you create the man that you want them to be.
There you go.
So, she's freaking. She opens up the box.
After like 10, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
She's about to ring the thing.
It's like not even been 8 minutes, it feels like. And she freaks. Throws the box towards her feet because it's full of
large spiders.
In spiders that seem to be increasing in size.
Yeah.
The more we
are
see
they
them.
tarantulas now? They're full-size tarantulas?
It's like, well, that's how long the coffin is. They look like a dime at your feet, but once they get up to your head, they're fucking silver dollars.
The size of your fist, yeah.
And one's like actually on her face.
She splats one on the wall, and it's like gooey.
Yeah, it's full like oil.
That's right, guys. She can swing her arms around inside this coffin. It's not just a little tube where a body rests. It's a small room. It's one of those like a sleeping pod.
Yeah,
that
you
would
could
go
comfortably have intercourse in that thing.
Oh yeah,
Person on
with
top
two
of
other
person.
people.
Yeah. So she says, F it, and starts ringing the bell. They're banging on the top of the lid with a stick because they only probably about an inch of dirt on there.
Yeah, this is the thing. They just threw a little bit of dirt over that glass cross to make it seem like she's buried.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good trick.
It is good.
And kudos to them actually for being legit.
Yeah, it makes them not assholes. Kinda.
But right when she starts to ring the bell, a cop pulls up, and like they always do in movies, they give you one chirp of the siren.
Hey,
cops are here.
It's the guy from Prince of Darkness. Hey, hey
guys. I gotta tell you something, and you're not gonna like it. And so they put the camera down for some reason and run away.
They're like, we have to get out of here. We'll get her out later.
We'll come back. We pinky swear.
So they abandon her there, and then the rain starts swelling up.
Oh, right before that, it starts to rain, and they're like dancing. They do a weird chant when they put her in there too.
Yeah, you thought they were witches a couple different times.
It seemed very witch-like.
Oh, earth. Oh, moist earth.
Yeah.
So they run away. The cop comes up. He investigates. He's like, I ain't getting pneumonia. And he walks off. Doesn't notice the running camera with the headlamp on.
Yeah.
And so then we jump back down to the lady, and she's weeping, and she starts making amends with her friend.
I don't know why I thought I could fit in with those girls. I don't know why I even wanted to.
She's really going through the gamut of emotions in like a real rapid succession here. And then all of a sudden the water starts leaking in, just like that. And she's like, oh no, because, water. Now I had made a snide comment to you, because once the water really starts pouring in, the lid splits. I said, flip around, get your knees underneath you, put your arms down, put your back to that lid, and just start pushing.
Yeah, she needed to try a little bit harder. Instead of just kicking it, you need to be pushing it.
But here's the problem. So then all of a sudden the weird wacko rubber face appears in the window.
Yeah.
Gentle.
I mean, she starts to get pretty much drowned in that box.
It does come up to, she has to put her head up. She's still got about a good 12 feet of air. And then all of a sudden, and you made the comment that this feels like Creepshow.
Yeah, I was scared at first. I was like, fuck. And then the more they kept showing that monster face,
it was a rubber.
It's a rubber mask.
Yeah. If that even. It might have just been a puppet. So they're like, if you hear her knocking, don't let her know you're there, otherwise she's going to drag you to hell. TM. And it's not like you can avoid it. She puts her fisheye right up to the window.
Well, if she didn't have the fucking light on her camera on, she wouldn't have been able to see her.
I thought they were going to do like night vision, and so it starts busting in the window. It's got big weirdo swamp thing, creepy hand, starts touching on her.
And her face is mushed up against the monster's face.
Yeah, and then she vanishes, and she's like, oh, good. I was just hallucinating. And boom, all of a sudden she's there now, and she's breaking in. Next morning, we see the camera is still running.
Yeah, they fast forward through the night until
like
the morning.
6 or 7 hours. That's a fucking tape right there, son. Yeah, and that's, normally it's like 4 hours, maybe 6.
Yeah, but I mean, the battery wouldn't even last that long.
So the girls get back, and the grave is filled with water.
And immediately one of them jumps in there.
It's too late. Imogen, no.
Just
disappears under the water.
Yeah, like it's muddy ass water, and she's scuba diving in there.
Pops back up. She's gone.
Girl, what you mean?
It's empty.
And then another one jumps in. Yeah, she is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, we can never tell anyone about this.
We were never here.
Right. We weren't here.
Okay.
We killed her.
We never speak of this again.
We need alibis.
Understand?
And here's what I said. I said, so what? They're just going to get away with this? Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
I mean, do you think if they would have put forth some effort to claim, to have ownership over it? I mean, there's no no body, so they're not gonna. They might put you in jail. Like, where's her body? But because you think they made that pact that they got what came to them
afterwards. Yeah, absolutely. I think if they'd gone to the authorities immediately, they would have all gotten like 3-year suspended sentences.
Right,
Spent like a couple of months in jail.
Of course. So they make this pact, and then immediately one wakes up in a coffin.
And then the next one wakes up in the coffin.
Yep.
One by one, they all wake up in the coffin, and they're scared and they're freaked out. Same coffin, too, with the cross window.
Right, and apparently the ghost has a pretty substantial budget in order to afford buying 4 camcorders in 1999.
I mean, this is the you have to suspend your disbelief because it's like, well, wait, how did you get them? What happened here? I guess ghost magic, monster magic.
Right? How did they get there? Were they teleported?
There is not really probably a camera or a box, but it's all nonsense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I don't know, man. Like it's not a lot of anything impressive going on so far in here as far as like stories.
I kind of like this one.
And so then Yahtzee shows up at the foot of the coffin.
No.
Like, hey, bitch.
No, not Yahtzee. The girl.
Oh, right.
The pledge who disappeared.
Whatever her name
The one
is.
we watched get tortured by
Josie?
Sure, Josie of the Pussycats.
She's
all ghoulish and yellow.
She's not nearly as ghastly. Yeah, she looks like she's suffering from like jaundice of the liver. Meningitis maybe.
Got a slight Gollum look to her.
All right, I get to wear makeup.
She's like, hey, I made a deal with that bitch over there, and she let me not go to hell if I give her all the souls she wants.
A whole sorority to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Did she say she was going to go to hell, though?
Well, she didn't take me to wherever.
Why would any of them go to hell? Like, I mean, these horrible women that buried that lady and let her die. Yes,
that's the problem.
The pledges don't deserve to burn in hell.
Right. So Yentl. Even her, why did she go to hell?
I don't think she did. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
She just becomes this fucking, like, real putrid-looking...
I guess a vengeful spirit.
Guess.
It's the creep show Creep from the first one,
yes,
right?
Yeah, very much so. Problem is that she's now reliant upon the sorority to continue to rush their pledges in such a fashion that she has access to people in coffins.
Well, I mean, if you can magically make people appear in coffins, like, you don't need to rush. You can just get them all, pluck them one by one.
So then why aren't you just doing that?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So she's like, hey, you're fucked now.
Doesn't Yeddle show up too?
She does. She's like, I'm over here too. And then 4 hot pieces of tail are, released out into the ether of Ooga Boogaville. I don't know. And then it ends.
Okay, what do you score this one on the spookometer?
I mean, it's like a 0, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I like this one a little bit.
Nothing spooky is going on in any of this so far.
Well, I was like, man, don't get in that coffin. We talked about Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
You know where I am? I'm going to get the Americans are coming for me.
And I would not like to be buried alive.
No.
But again, like with the Ryan Reynolds one, I mean, he could barely put his arm down to get a lighter out of his pants.
Right. A real coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a real poor man's coffin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, God, they're going to come back. First off, man, I don't know. You don't, if the grave can fill up with water, you're not going to pre-dig it that night. There's a chance for rain.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if maybe that was like a grave site that they were getting ready.
I'm assuming it's ready for some other person.
Yeah, they must. These ladies didn't dig it out.
But
they
why would
not
they
have
have
done such a good job?
Why would they have an empty coffin in it?
That makes no sense.
Surely they must have put that down.
But how would they get that?
Exactly. Back to the army men. It's a little bit more wacky.
Fighting creatures. People getting ripped in half.
And at this point, the jock bro bursts in like, "What are you making these toys kiss for? And what'd you do with my camera?"
Hey, is that my camera? Don't take over my new.
He takes it.
And you don't even see the dorky brother. Oh, you do a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And oh man, I wasn't what? And so the kid goes back to his room and he's got his shirt off and he's putting on a real gun show. Call the vet because these pythons are sick. He says at one point. But then his mom's like,
"Did you say something, honey?"
Nothing. Don't come in.
Yeah, he like blocks the door.
It's like, man,
what do you want for lunch? Hot Pockets.
Obviously, he says. 1999, bitch. Unless you got Tortinos.
Give me that fake cheese. Give me that fake tomato sauce.
Yeah, give me that fake crust.
Warm it up in the goo. And it doesn't really taste like a pizza.
I ate a Hot Pocket once.
Once?
Yeah, when I was like 30.
You've only ever eaten one?
Yeah, when I was 30.
I've eaten a lot of Hot Pocket.
I was like, oh, you're making a Hot Pocket? Okay.
They suck.
I'll have one of those. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I've had like cheap ass gas station pizza before, so can't be any worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like nothing.
Well, I mean, no, it has flavor, but not like pizza.
Yeah, that's
the sauce is tomato-like, but not like pizza sauce. It's got a different weird consistency to it.
Mhm.
Pepperoni chunks are a little bit more in the ballpark of a pepperoni, but the cheese is really the most concerning thing. They're like, this isn't real cheese. This turns into kind of like a liquid once you warm it.
Yeah, so I had just the cheese one.
Yeah.
And,
with the sauce.
Mhm.
You got the sauce.
Well, so in order to cook it the requisite or recommended amount of time, when you still have like 15 seconds left, that's when it starts to diarrhea out the end of
Yeah.
it. Oh, fuck. You pull it out and all the cheese is just oozed out onto the napkin. God damn it.
You're supposed to use a microwave-safe plate.
No.
Napkins burst into flames in the microwave.
It's a gamble. So,
you gotta soak them in like hot sauce and be aware that they're not gonna taste like pizza. Maybe dip them in ranch if you're like 19.
What I do is I take 2 and then I sandwich them around a s'mores Pop-Tart.
Yeah, and you throw them at the wall.
Yeah, bruh.
I
It's
feel like
1999 all over again.
I had a Hot Pocket maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
You get yourself some Capri Sun to go with it. Maybe Sunny D, but none of that purple stuff.
Pizza rolls suck too.
Big time.
Yeah.
Most microwavable pizza products.
Jenny insists on cooking those pizza rolls in the oven. And I will say, they are better, but
ovens,
pizza
yeah.
rolls suck, so investing 30 minutes in pizza rolls is kind of silly.
That's a gamble. So now it's just like a bunch of douchebaggery. A couple of Broheims just shredding, gleaming the cube.
Gleam the cube.
Doing the jackass pranks.
Yeah,
They cut a hole in a shopping bag or something.
Yeah, so they draw a permanent marker dick on the goofball friend.
Boner. His name's Boner.
Apropos.
They put a boner on his head.
Yeah, and yeah, so they tried to do a hidden cam. And you mentioned this. The one boy, he's got like really big skater pants on.
Yeah.
He walks up to 2
Mega Jinkos.
girls, yeah, with like drawstrings at the bottom.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, ladies, what's y'all name?" And typical teenage fashion, they tell him.
I'm Cassidy, and this is Emma.
Yeah, they're cute too.
They're kind of like, "Hey, we're just hanging out. What do you got to offer?"
My name's Brecky, and my friends call me Breck.
And his friend is slowly snaking up behind them with the camera, the hidden camera.
Trying to point it right up the skirt.
And she notices immediately. Is that a fucking camera?
We almost see some panties.
Almost. We almost were
And then she
accomplices.
busts us.
Are you serious?
And they run away, fall over themselves. You better run.
But yeah, if you just talked to them, they would have hung out with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, hey, me and Dummy over here, do you guys want to hang out?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to get some Burger King?
Y'all want to skateboard?
Can I teach you to skateboard?
Y'all want to go play THPS on my PS1?
I had a really nice time with you today. Can we do this again sometime?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You fellow kids.
Oh,
this worked.
1 week later.
Yeah.
Kissing and sex, maybe.
Right? You don't got to be a Taylor Lautner to land a nice-looking lady.
Stranger things happen every day.
But I also kind of get their stupidity, too.
Of course. Yeah, they're like 15, 16-year-old boys.
I'm scared. I don't know how to commit like that, so I'm just going to be dumb and hope it work out.
So ultimately, we come to realize he keeps visiting his neighbor.
Oh, man. His neighbor's wicked hot, hanging up at the pool, floating around on an inner tube.
Yeah, she looked like she just stepped out of a Guns N' Roses video. There's a bunch of weird stone heads. I noticed that immediately, but they didn't focus on it. So I was like, oh, I must have made that up. No, there's some stone heads laying around.
But we're also trying to figure out how old she is, because I was like, she a teenager? But then she's washing the car.
It felt like 2021 to me.
Okay.
She's, I don't know, maybe a exotic dancer.
Is this like Bunny from Big Lebowski? Is that her name? Tara Reid? Where she's just floating around on a...
I'll suck your cock for $1,000.
I was thinking that the exact same time that you just said it. I was also getting like a real Christina Applegate kind of vibe.
Sure. But listen, this lady is fly, and this dude keeps on creeping on her.
Yeah, she's pretty fly for a white guy. While she's like washing her car, they're like all grouped up at the window of their house looking. It's in a cul-de-sac. She's catty corner or kitty corner, depending on what part of the United States you're from.
Motor oil.
And they're just like, ready to bust a nut all over each other.
You know what I'm talking about.
And one day they see his dorky younger brother out there rollerblading.
Man, really terribly.
He's got his little baby pad.
He's like, and he like kind of just makes his way towards her. She's out taking out the garbage.
Almost like he's got game the way he rolls into her.
And she like grabs his hand.
Yo, did she just voluntarily touch him?
Starts leading him inside.
Is she holding his hand?
And they're just like losing their shit. Like, what the hell is going on here? Because they see see a DUI driver, delivery driver, drop off like a Apple Mac PC, and he tries macking on her, and he looks like a fool. And
Do you think he was offering to carry it in there, right?
Probably.
That's what I would be
and
doing.
She was like, "No, don't."
Are you sure?
I got too many headless bodies.
Gun show tickets right here. I'd lift these packages all day.
Yep.
I could go for some lemonade.
And so the brother's like, "Younger brother, bro, what the hell what do you? I'd install her webcam for her when I go back there." And they're like, "I got a plan, bruh. I'm a real Pauly Shore kind of guy. We're gonna want you to install
spyware
on her computer
so that we can
hijack it
and stream the video right to our house across the street over 28 modems, maybe 56K.
They wanted to hijack it so they could LoJack it later.
Yeah.
And, he goes over and he does it.
And she's nice.
She seems like a really nice young lady.
She does seem super nice. She brings him a drink.
She does. Yeah. And, he does the spyware. And, they're just carousing around in his room waiting for a good moment to circle jerk. And he's like, "Yo, bro, she's about to go up in that shower. Well, wiggity what?"
Dude, honestly, just seeing her on the camera, I imagine I would have been jacking off constantly.
So my question is, it's 1999. I mean, like, webcams are not that...
No, they'd be choppy. They'd be terrible.
Common, for one, let alone the quality. So I'm thinking, like, well, maybe she's like a precursor to, like, a cam girl?
That's what you said. I don't think... Because the internet wasn't good enough to have cam girls.
Why would you even have a camera?
This is like 3 years before YouTube.
So why would you have a webcam?
I think it would be like choppy stills is what you get out of a webcam in 99.
So,
here we go, bringing logic to this again.
Yeah. So she reveals her breasts.
This is the greatest day of my life.
And it's exciting.
Until she starts breaking her own arm.
Ew. Yo, what? She's double jointed? Gross.
I'd still tap that.
And then resetting it for no apparent reason.
Yeah, we never did figure that one out.
And rips off her hair.
Oh, wig. I knew it.
And they're just like freaking like, bruh.
And terrible CGI black squiggles start coming out of her head.
Yo, wait. Is this the CGI thing?
Right.
Is it the creature from Mononoke?
You know it.
Is it old evil spaghetti arm?
Akiba! To me, please!
And so he's like, "Call 911 and then call your parents." And he calls 911. There's a girl with snakes in her head.
How many snakes, sir?
Yeah. And yeah, she's a Medusa, bro.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like we kind of were thinking with that stone stuff.
Yeah.
There's too many. At first it's like, oh, it's weird with the stones. But then later on, like, there's more. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
And you said, oh, they look like them.
I think that they actually said that.
No.
Oh, it looks like you, boner.
Okay, yeah.
Why was it mostly heads? Does she fucking chop them?
Yeah, what do you do with the rest of the body? Just make gravel? Maybe that's how she gets her money. She's the gravel queen of Las Vegas.
Nice.
This one felt like Las Vegas for some reason. Maybe because I just watched Fright Night. So she's a Medusa. Even though, don't Medusas have like snake legs? Like a snake lower body?
I don't think so.
Like a Pegasus, but instead of a horse, it's a snake. They do.
Are we both going off
they do in God
Clash
of War.
of the Titans?
Yeah, and God of War, the original video game. And she just, I guess, like jumps from her house to theirs.
Like she knows?
She's on the roof, but then
She knows they're watching her on the webcam? How does that work? Is this entrapment? Did she set this up to happen? Would they have been safe if they hadn't done this? Or would she have gotten them anyways?
Maybe, man, because...
Is she just looking for horny creeps? Man, it sucks to be a teenager because your horny creep factor is probably at the highest it's ever going to be.
I mean, except his dorky brother didn't seem like a horny creep.
Yeah.
And it was weird when she invited him in. So she starts like, well, first she like tackles one of the dudes and just starts ripping him apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Medusas don't rip people apart.
No.
They do the Gorgon gaze and he turns...
Gorgon gaze?
Yeah. And he turns into stone. She does stone one of them upstairs and the little brother's like, what's going on, man? And like you mentioned, where are the parents? It's like probably 9, 10 o'clock at night.
They went out, I guess?
I guess when you have tools like that for your kids.
I don't think you'd ever leave the house with that fucking one dipshit brother around.
I don't think you'd ever go
what is he
home
going to
with
do?
one of them dipshits.
No, you would be like, this motherfucker's going to ruin our house. We can never leave. One of us has to be here.
So, she Gorgon gazes all of them. And
one by one.
All become stone.
No, the nice brother's like, we're so sorry.
What do you mean it hurt you?
Oh, we do. As his hands slowly turn to stone.
No, what did you do?
And then she like slowly approaches the camera, like
she growls at the last guy with her her
Look
glowing
at me,
eyes.
I'm a cheap CGI and practical
Yeah, the Medusa
effects.
looked pretty stupid. Do you think it hurts turning to stone?
It did for that one boy.
Is he screaming?
I think you would just slowly feel nothing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like you're slowly being paralyzed.
Unless every single like cell in your body is exploding, turning into stone. And
I mean,
then it's the most pain you could possibly feel.
Yeah, how does that work, right? Like, is it just everything is now stone? So if I cut him open, he would have stone veins inside of his stone arms?
Well, I would think when it comes
muscle,
to like
or everything
stone,
just congeals?
Yeah, I think if you cut open one of those statues, it's just going to be stone inside. You wouldn't be able to make out detail. Once again, logic comes in and we say, well, that's pretty stupid. How would you even do that?
You know, I think it's weird. It feels like they're both too long and too short at the same time for any real value for me to be had from any of this. Yeah, so then is the Medusa before the game show? Yeah, I suppose so. So then I don't think we're getting the toys anymore because they're dead. And it cuts to a fake like Double Dare style show called Ozzy's Cavern? Dungeon. Ozzy's Dungeon. And
it seems more like the Legends of the Hidden Temple stuff, though. Also, Double Dare mixed with that.
And yeah, it's the guy who plays Trevor from GTA 5.
Well, thank you very much, cowboy.
When you said it's a GTA guy, I didn't quite understand what you meant at first.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. And you didn't watch The Walking Dead when he was on there as one of
No,
Negan's lieutenants.
I hope you're not putting this on us.
He is on Snowpiercer. All 3 seasons thus far. I think 3.
I know, Leighton intimately.
He's got a touch of the Walton Goggins.
He does, yeah. But he will never, once you see it, he'll never not be Trevor, really. It's kind of plagued by that. I don't think I've ever seen the actor that played Michael or Franklin in anything that I've noticed other than that game.
Isn't Leota in one of those?
He does the voice in Vice City. Tommy Vercetti?
Two-Tone?
Yeah, Two-Tone
Vercetti?
Tommy.
His name is Vercetti?
Tommy Vercetti, I think.
Vicetti Vercetti.
Yeah.
Real good.
Makes you think.
Rockstar. Oh my god.
Everybody's in that game. And San Andreas.
So welcome to the Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like, what is going on here? You know, kids are being injured. It's very mean-spirited.
It seems quite nefarious.
It does, but it also feels like a Tim and Eric sketch. Like with the way the audience is reacting.
Yeah.
They're like insane, but then they're like...
I thought they were going to like ritually sacrifice people immediately. I thought really horrible things were going to happen. Then you see like the players' parents in the stands, and you're like, hey, maybe that's not what happens on the show.
Yeah, it almost felt like something to do with like your soul, or maybe this is like the precipice of hell. Yeah, there's one gal, she's doing pretty good in the competition.
Donna, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Apparently if you win, you get a wish from whatever Ozzy is.
So it's interesting because it's weird, but then they throw little things in there like that where you're like, wait, what? This seems mystical but dangerous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they run the final obstacle course, and it very much felt like pitch perfect for a Mark Summers style Double Dare event.
Going through Jello,
finding flags.
Yep, the flag thing for sure.
And so they're in the home stretch coming out of the anus, and for some reason the gal that's like
from Detroit, from the Big D,
yeah, from the 8 Mile, her leg just explodes.
It fucking like
just snaps in half,
basically hanging off.
And it's hard to tell like where the break even occurs. Is it the shin?
And why would it happen? The guy like crawled on her a little bit, but I don't think
they're
extended
in like
the other way.
Blow up
it's not at the knee.
Rubber tube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, her leg seems way too long.
You would have bled out from this pretty fast.
She's bleeding quite profusely. And then the tape starts rewinding and playing over and rewinding, and it very much felt like
Jake
is time gonna change?
Yeah.
Now she's gonna win. What's happening? It's her brother for some reason queuing it up, I guess. And now we're in the basement of somewhere. The obese mother is there.
Who I've seen in other things.
She was reminding me of the Pine Sol lady.
I'll take Pine Sol.
Snapple? Pine Sol?
That lady who smells Pine Sol in the grocery
That might
store.
be her. I think that is her.
Just a little bit larger.
Yeah.
I mean, she had the eyes. That's what really was drawing me in. It may be. And so, Trevor's in a cage now. You gonna look it up?
That's great, dude.
And they're all recording it.
His hairpiece is gone.
Yeah, it's dangling just outside the cage.
You don't know it's him at first, too, so you're like, what? Is this like after the apocalypse?
Do you know where you're at?
Yeah, it's very jarring and weird. And so the mom's basically like, you ruined my daughter. She's all like goth now in a wheelchair.
Nobody want to see that on the big screen.
And he's like, what? You signed a release form, waiver.
Who gives a fuck about a goddamn waiver, nigga?
You know, you signed up. The show's been canceled, so there's nothing I can do.
And it looked like they were living on the set, which lent to the post-apocalyptic feel, but no, they've recreated it.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know. It's too big to be a basement. But,
yeah, it seems like a lab somewhere.
Yeah, and so they're like, look, you're going to run this obstacle course.
He's in his underwear.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to pour this
She has acid. She's shaking it on stuff and it completely dissolves it. It's crazy.
Well, she shakes it onto a styrofoam cooler.
Which I guess would dissolve pretty easily if you threw something on there.
Right. It could have been, I don't remember what you would put on there.
Gasoline, doesn't that melt?
Yeah, big time. Maybe vinegar. I don't know. So he's like, all right, I'll do it. Whatever.
Because that's a pretty bad way to go, dude. I don't want to get acidified.
Now, one kid on the show, they put on antlers. They had balloons on their stomachs, and the objective of the challenge was to pop the balloon. And one kid got hurt, but it didn't look like he was stabbed or anything. So now they have a bike helmet or a motorcycle helmet with like knives sticking out of it, and he just headbutts the guy.
The brother
in the
charges
torso.
him.
Yeah.
No, I need a helmet. 3, no. 2, a diamond. 1, a diamond. Charge! Oh, fuck.
Which, guys, I think that you die probably quickly from this. I think one stab wound maybe take a little while to bleed out. I think 4 knives going into your guts at one time equals mega torrents of blood, and you die 4 times as quick.
I also think it's worth pointing out that the mom is probably the best part of this entire movie.
But what about Trevor?
Is just like...
She is very good.
Operating on a whole nother level.
The brother and the dad are almost non-existent.
Her blood pressure is rising at one point. She's so like volatile. She just like takes off her shirt.
Take this shirt off.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there in a bra and like tight pants.
Yeah.
She's like talking about how like her pussy's you make my pussy drier than the Sahara or some shit.
Make my goddamn pussy drier than the Sahara Desert. Sahara. Shut the fuck up.
She's like shooting looks every which way but loose at the dad, at the son. Give me the jar. Which jar? The one that doesn't have water in it. Oh, you know. So she's maniacal.
I'm a creep. I thought she looked kind of good without her shirt on. Now when she walks around, she sort of looks like one of those M&Ms on the TV.
If I were alone, it'd be Fat Fest 99. and so, you know, he's like, all right, you got stabbed. There was a toss the meat game. You're supposed to catch the meat in your mouth.
Fuck, I started dry heaving. You
on
heard,
the show,
you heard me, right?
On the show, it looked like some sort of barbecued turkey leg or something.
But it was so big.
It was
that
enormous.
I thought it might end up being like the children that were competing that lost.
Well, that could be, because we do see some weird shit later.
But I don't think that is what happened.
No, I think they just went to the Minnesota State Fair and got really big turkey legs.
Yeah, turkey legs. Not no chicken leg, big old turkey leg.
Well, speaking of chicken, what they're tossing at him looks like raw,
pretty sure it's raw chicken.
Putrid.
Are you hungry? 'Cause it's lunchtime.
It's in like a gravy or something.
It would have to be upsetting, yeah.
She's just like rubbing it on him. And...
Go right up here and just... Just get it all up in this pie hole.
So now they're like, look, bro, you got 60 seconds to finish this obstacle course. You're going to be going through diarrhea, maybe vomit.
Isn't he walking through those tires that are full of like broken glass and paper?
Something to that effect, yeah. It reminded me of the UHF video where he was aping Rambo, who I think it was Rambo, where he like taped his hands and then put it in broken glass.
Yeah.
But Weird Al puts his hands in gummy bears.
That's Kickboxer.
Kickboxer, right. He was dressed like Rambo for a different bit. Yeah. And Indiana Jones, fun fact. And so he seems to finish it right at the buzzer.
Just couldn't do it, could you, son? Beat the fucking clock.
He's not fully out of the anus, but he's out of it, and he's got flags. And she's like, nah, motherfucker, I'm going to put this...
I think she lied. I think he did beat it.
There was no way. Because I even turned to you, I said, well, what do you think is going to happen if he finishes it? Nothing. Good. So they put the acid, I'm assuming it is, in a syringe, and she's about to get buck wild.
No winners, no wishes.
Just
and he goes, I can get you your wish from Ozzy.
Where's this?
She's like, how, man? That show was canceled. You said it.
Are you fucking with me right now?
I know where they keep it.
And so they're like, all right. They pile into the car. They're listening to some light jazz.
Yeah, that's actually one of the better parts of
It reminded me of listening to 88.5 at 3 a.m. when I used to work at this hotel. And they pull up to, like, the sound stage, and there's, like, armed guards out
Armed
front.
guards with semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah.
Just outside two of them.
Oh, we can't go in this way. We have to go around to the back.
Security's gotten a little beefy.
So they get in, and the set's still there. And
This is fucking crazy because they go in deeper and he knocks on the door.
Now, they said they've been canceled already.
A while ago, I think.
Yeah, like weeks or something, right?
Is it
Months?
weeks?
It was
I
a
think it's
while.
maybe been a couple of years.
Oh, I guess it could be.
But that lady,
The muscle lady.
Valkyrie lady, opens it up. She's still in there with
Yeah.
a torch.
She's like, oh, hey, what's up?
No, she doesn't talk ever.
No, she doesn't.
But it's like, what? This is all
She's
adding
something-
to the mystical Greek strange
Yeah.
element to it.
She's like straight out of American Gladiator.
Is she human?
Right. And so they all go in.
And they're going deeper and deeper, and eventually
Mm-hmm.
he says,
This is an actual cave.
they go, what?
The fuck do you mean an actual cave?
It's like, I've never been past the door before.
Now, when they were driving there, the dad was driving, the brother was in the back seat, Trevor was riding bitch, somebody was in the passenger seat manning the camera.
The mom.
Where was the daughter and her wheelchair?
Oh.
In the trunk?
Man, you must be out of your fucking mind if you think I'm gonna get in this dirty ass trunk.
Yep.
Maybe.
Well, hey, we never did talk about that leg.
The broken.
They
show
show
her leg. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know what's wrong with it.
It looks like it is partially rotting. The skin is grown weird.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's not severed like it was in the video. If you could put the leg back together, I don't think it would get that weird fungal growth growing across it.
And the mom even says to Trevor, like, what does it look like to you? And I thought she said zombie.
Well, I thought she said dog shit.
It looks like dog meat!
She did. Dog shit.
Dog food?
Dog meat, maybe?
Looks like dog meat.
Because I was
meat,
like,
dog
zombie.
meat.
Fuck you, asshole.
What the hell? Zombie, dog meat? Nah, I mean, good
Hey,
eye, mate. So they're.
Are we doing that? We doing that right now? We're gonna
Yeah.
do the voice?
Yeah.
There's not a single Australian doing voice in this movie.
No.
And so they go deeper into this cavern, and then Trevor's like, this is a real cave. What the fuck you mean? I'm the baddest motherfucker down. I'm the scariest motherfucker down here, the lady says.
I guarantee I'm meaner than anything we'll find down here.
Yeah, this is when we realize,
At
And
one point,
somebody
the contestant
bolts, right?
runs out. Yeah.
But why is their contestant running out? That's just another weird
So we get
touch.
into this chamber, and there's just this normal-sized person on this stone slab, but they're engorged beyond belief.
Yeah.
And their titties are huge and pointing opposite directions. But the rest of them just seems like a normal
right
person.
But their torso is about 3 feet tall.
Yeah, and they're on like a stone slab bed.
And there's
other contestants in the background.
Are they contestants?
Yeah, they
I
got
feel
their
like
shirts
there
on.
was also like
There were like warrior dudes, like
yeah.
the lady.
What the fuck is with the contestants?
For
though?
sure.
They canceled it. Are these people trapped in there?
I mean,
I
what?
like this.
Yeah,
I like the questions it makes you ask. This is the best one of the
this
show.
was the best one because nothing made sense.
Yeah.
In a way that you didn't. Yeah, go. Well, why this? Why
There's
that?
a mysterious, nonsensical logic to it.
Yeah, because it starts as if we're watching the show.
But a little bit.
But then
yeah,
after
it's
that,
off. Things are off.
Yeah, it's like a bad show. This isn't the floor is lava. But then it goes from that meta level of us watching whatever this show is to now being with these people in what would be considered like the real world. So it's already weird. Like, what was that show? How could that show exist when people are breaking their legs, getting stabbed and such? So that's already one thing. Like, what world does this exist in? But now whatever's going on here, it's even like crazier. And so he wheels her up like, you can whisper your wish.
Get a good wish, kid.
Well, he says he whispers to her, and then he starts pushing the chair.
Right.
And he's like, it knows my heat signature.
It recognizes my aura.
My aura.
I think. Yes, that was very weird. But they all go in. I thought he was just going to take her in.
Yeah, I thought it'd be just it.
And what does he whisper? Right? Like, does he orchestrate what comes to follow with his whisper? So
maybe he says, "Don't look at the thing that's going to happen."
Maybe. So she does her whisper, and the lady starts making guttural noises. I'm assuming it's a lady.
Because of the tit.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, her stomach opens, and this...
It's almost like a spider monster, like from the void for a second.
It's almost like a little bit of the Medusa with the tendril hair. It's almost like a little bit of the Yaddle because of the weird arms.
Then it's also like a...
It's like a disco laser light show.
A tech, inflatable wiggly man, monster from hell.
Yeah, and it just starts like emanating blasts of psychic energy. And Trevor's writhing in pain. The dad's in pain.
Their faces start like melting.
Yeah, they're just like
pulling their
pouring
skin off.
Yeah, it's super goopy.
Gets the mom.
The mom too. The brother's manning the camera. He's starting to freak out. And he, right before it ends, it just like freezes as he goes past the daughter, who's just looking at the camera like
smiling. This was her wish?
Truth or dare.
Was her wish for them all to be destroyed? Not to have a functional, not dog meat leg?
Who knows what the hell she wished for? Some sort of a weird apocalypse?
And what
end
is
of all things?
Is this thing a demon? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. And why it
Techno-demon.
exists there? Is it Ozzy, or is the thing inside of this person Ozzy?
Right. Is she going to be the next thing that it's going to be in? Because
Yeah.
it sort of seemed like it killed that thing.
Why
when
do
it
they
popped
have
out.
barbarian warriors? And
It's like almost like a Greek demon.
it's so silly and psychotic. I love it. The
Yeah,
fact
it's-
that this weird demon exists, but uses a fucked up challenge game show in order to maybe find
Its
a
next
suitable.
vessel?
Yeah, maybe that's what that is, right? Because
Maybe.
nobody
Nobody
they
ever
said
beat
nobody's
the game.
won. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the closest one. So I like this one.
This one's good. Dude, you should really watch the last one, VHS 94, because the Ratman one is fantastic, and then there's a funeral home one that's pretty good, too.
Was there one in the 80s?
I think they just started doing the dated ones. Just the 94
the
and
last
now
one,
99, yeah.
This was probably the highlight of the whole experience. for me.
Probably.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, is that the final one?
No, the next one, they go to the Conjuring of the Demon.
Oh, that's right. It's a fake or a documentary crew.
They open up on the lady with the 2000 glasses.
Jane McAllister, 48.
They're going to be bringing in the Y2K New Year, which has come up a few times before. Boner was talking about Y2K.
Yeah,
back
he's
in the-
making a bunker. Y'all aren't going to be invited. He's going to have condoms.
Why would you have condoms? Who's down there with you?
You know what I mean? Like at this point, you're going to be wanting to
It's
repopulate.
Probably
world.
just going to be you, Boner.
Yeah, maybe he likes to masturbate into condoms. It's training. So yeah, there's like a coven of witches.
That are trying to bring Ungabok? What is this fucking thing's
Oogable? Oogooble? Boo 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 goo goo?
Qui-Gon or Pokemon or some shit.
It sounded like Google something. Oogabon.
Ugabon.
Oogabon.
It is Ugabon.
Yes, do you know?
I had to say it sounded like Google something to get there. I didn't just Google it, I swear to God.
These witches, they plan on the stroke of midnight to draw him into this lady who's agreed to be the vessel.
I volunteered to be the vessel because I've always felt like I was destined for something bigger than me, I guess. Does that make sense?
She's a real Rachel Dratch type.
When the veil is at its thinnest at midnight
Mhm.
at the new year.
Now, they apparently have conjured like smaller demons prior to this.
Right, but we don't hear that till later.
Well, no,
So-
the lady, the younger,
Oh, she's
cute
talking
one.
about how she is cute.
You guys nervous to see one?
Demon?
You guys are in for a trip.
Have you seen one? Wait, I thought it had to be like New Year's Eve, Y2K for the whole thing to.
I mean, like, for big ones, yeah.
This is fucking crazy land too. So it's these two guys that are running the documentary film crew, right?
And like, what are they, like local dudes?
Right. And then there's the volunteer guy that's there who's just like, I'm just here to help out.
I'm just a husband in the background.
And where's the sound guy?
Why would you be involved in this? Is this our reality?
Yeah.
Or is this another slightly off version of the world? Where you're like, yeah, okay.
That's
it seems
yeah.
like they're laughing at these witches.
It's important to massage the doorway to the other realm, but we won't call Ukabon into the vessel until the stroke of midnight, when the veil is at its very thinnest.
Yeah, they're
nothing's
like-
gonna happen.
right.
We're gonna get some good footage.
Mhm.
I would not be involved.
To
in
what
this.
end? I guess I don't really know what they would do with it. There's no YouTube or.
My superstitious fear is nonsense. It's garbage.
Uh-huh.
But I would never get involved in any of the situations that happen in this entire movie.
No, and man, they're so peculiar and specific that if all of these take place in worlds or universes completely removed from the rest of them, how weird would that be that the one supernatural thing that happens is this band in the basement waiting for other dumb bands to come and, or this Gorgon is stoning teenage perverts, like.
Yeah, I mean, this one is probably the most believable of the batch.
Yeah, absolutely. People do fuck around with the occult.
Fuck around and find out.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around,
the more you're gonna find out.
That's what VHS 99 says.
Yeah, and that very much is a true motto that they upheld. So they, they're doing their hand thing, and it's kind of a cool little ceremony.
I like it. Actually, this first part's pretty great.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of the OA. And
with the dancing.
And all of a sudden, I caught a glimpse of it, but I didn't see it.
It's like there's suddenly a guy. Well, they're Angabok. What is his name? Ooga Booga?
Oogabong?
Oogabon.
Udabong?
Is that Furcus again?
Just cast him out, honey.
Okay.
They're conjuring Oogabon into the lady who's strapped down.
Yep.
And then
A
this guy
demon appears.
Something's here!
Yeah, pops out from behind this TV.
A real
and you
golem.
See it for a second, goes behind the TV again.
What the hell?
And then
they
they mention it's a lesser demon.
Hey, we're gonna put you back there.
And then
It comes out from under the table and grabs apparently
camera
both
guy.
of them.
How would he get both of them?
I don't know, man. And then they wake up in hell.
Yeah.
I guess.
See,
it's not really that bad.
What?
I mean, there's
this
some,
shit's way too long.
Yes.
They fucked up. This should have been half as long. This one would have been pretty good if it was half as long.
I'm assuming they must have filmed this in some weird, like national park or something, because there's no way they made this set. It's too intricate, even though it's really hodgepodge. It's like weird rock outcroppings and formations and it's
Devil's
almost like
Mouth
wax,
Canyon in Wyoming.
like melted wax in the form of rock or something is what it looks like.
And we get a glimpse of that guy that dragged them there, the guy thing, demon thing.
Yeah, there's like big multi-tiered bear traps.
Which are interesting. We see one that's caught something, but we
Yeah,
don't know what's in there.
right,
It's
and
like
then
a part of a leg.
They find like
leg.
a trident made
Yeah.
out of like bone, and
Which I thought was a very bad idea to pick that up, but apparently not.
yeah, if you don't know how to use a trident, leave it alone. And so
Well, I
there's-
mean, if you're in hell, it could be a cursed object.
that's true. So there's like demons sort of mucking about.
They catch a glimpse of one that's
Enormous?
working its fleshy. No, the one with
Oh,
the
that
fleshy
one, yeah.
wings where the back kind of opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of looks like that gargoyle from the first one. But then they also see that giant demon.
Yeah.
Flickers in the lightning or...
Yeah, and then they realize, oh shit, we're in hell. That demon must have grabbed us when the witches cast it back here. Gorgonzola's going to be making an entrance in 8 minutes. We should probably go hitch a ride.
Well, they figure this out after they meet a human lady who comes running up to them with
Mabel.
yellow teeth.
Wait. Ma'am, wait.
She's got burns all over her.
Yeah,
And she sucks.
It's like
Does Mabel
something out
suck?
of...
Her acting sucks, right?
It's like something out of, who she reminded me of was Alice from Love and Other Catastrophes, the pixie.
Just because of the hair?
Exactly.
Okay. Because this whole, thing she's doing, I'm not into
She's
it.
doing a golem.
What did you say?
Ah, man, what are you doing?
Why are you screaming like cowards?
Thou art fresh.
Yeah.
Come
on, be quiet, my precious.
We don't belong in hell. Oh, yes, you do. No, we didn't die. I think we got pulled here.
Yeah, we need to get out of here.
Can you help us find Anga Bonga?
Oh yeah, I know what Oingo Boingo is.
Upon the blood order.
I thought she was tricking him.
I did too. There's no reason to. So then I turned to you and I go, well, apparently you can at least survive there.
Yeah, dude. My argument was use that trident and slit your throat so you're dead.
That was your argument.
Because you don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything to do bad things to me. Just let me die now.
Yeah, and so they, eventually make their way to Ogbugdungan's cave.
And we've seen some demonic creatures.
One dude, he almost steps into a very large bear trap, only to put his hand in a very small bear trap.
They see a creature with a head but no face. It's like a person that makes some noises. They hear some cry outs from like a lady and just see the top of her head.
Yeah.
And then it's like a gooey little creature with no legs.
If you've
tiny
ever-
legs, tiny arms.
If you've ever played the video game The Forest, this shit is straight out of there.
Okay.
Like weird, or it's even almost like this one creature that rolls around with super mutants in the Fallout games also. It's a lot of flabby, fatty skin and extra baby arms, and there was like a dead baby-ish looking imp.
Yeah, like a devil baby.
Yeah, the guy grabs like a little baby pitchfork from him.
Which is surprisingly effective later.
Yeah. And so they finally make it to Orgaborger's.
They have to crawl through this spider web, like, chute area, tiny little tunnel.
Yeah,
and you're
and he
like,
goes,
oh, this is definitely a trick. They're going to get eaten.
Well, he goes, they take the camera, man. My hand's busted and I can't hold the camera and crawl. And she goes, I'll take this, flimsy gauze that I have wrapped around my arm, and
How's she got gauze?
I'll fasten it to your noggin.
Why is there gauze in hell?
Did you notice she had like a one black lace garter on her right leg? She's
I
wearing
did
like,
not notice this.
Yeah, she's wearing like rags, and she's all bruised and burned and shit.
I
She's
saw
just got
the
like a
burns.
black lace garter on her right thigh for some reason. It's quite prominent when they're climbing rocks behind her. I don't know, but they're in the cave. He's got a camera apparently strapped to his head, a 1999 era VHS camera, and there's some people like doing a ritual. Are those the witches? Are we?
No, I mean it sounds like they're chanting like that. I don't know who those fucking. I mean, they're people that must be dead.
I guess,
dead male witches. Why are they wearing like leather gas masks?
And the one seemed like a little person, the one that he was like biting his hand or something. He's like,
I don't know.
The second guy he killed. So they're like, all right, we got to get up there in a couple seconds. We'll bum rush them, and then we'll just hitch a ride back. And Mabel's like, write my name in the book of witches.
Big book of witches.
Blarmies. And so they
like a pirate.
Yeah.
Instead of a witch, you're doing a pirate voice.
So her
voice sucks, though.
Yeah, they start sneaking up, and she goes, oops, I yelled that.
And then the leather daddies start rushing them.
And they immediately get on the bigger guy, and he's like, man, just go. And he's like, no, I got this little trident. And he goes down and he just starts wrecking house. I like when he kicks the guy in the balls, and he says, balls, or kick in the balls, or something. He says it while he does it.
I don't even think I noticed that.
Every time we watch one of these movies, I always turn to Callie and I go, why don't they just kick him in the balls?
Yeah.
Well,
they did it.
They did it. And sure enough,
they might not have him there.
It worked. And they fight and kill and
a lot
jump
of
on
pitchfork stabbing.
Unga Bunga.
Which is interesting because it looks like they jumped into his stomach chomping teeth. Like
yeah, they did. And I don't understand how that is the portal.
The stomach?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be. They all three should be going through.
Exactly, because they're inside of him,
right?
But somehow they bump him in line.
I don't think they're in him. I was thinking like they like grabbed onto him and they're partially like their arms maybe kind of in that teeth region, but only the two of them erupt on the other side.
Yes,
one of them inside the lady who was the vessel, who's strapped down and now has his voice.
Yep, and the cameraman's on the floor.
With the camera still. So why does the other guy have to go into the lady when the other dude has his own form?
I don't know, man.
Why are your forms able to come back at all if the demon has to go into a vessel? Because he has a form too.
Yeah.
Why can't he just pop on over?
Right, and so the witches realize, things went awry.
Because he's talking in his own voice.
Yo, bro, it's me, man.
Oh, man, I can't believe you made it back, bro.
I got a uterus now.
And they immediately start stabbing him in the heart with the dagger.
Yep, and the other guy, he's...
Oh, fuck,
I'm gonna get out of here. He turns around. And
that dork.
The milktoast husband of one of them.
Just there to help. I don't think he's a husband.
Maybe. I thought his name was Julian.
I don't think he's a Hammond.
Hammond? I think they call him Julian.
Do they?
Which is appropriate.
Well, he's got like basically a Sith.
Scythe. I thought it was just a shovel, but yeah, it's something. Yep.
Gets the guy in the throat.
He like taps it too. It wasn't like he even really put much effort into it.
I don't think any of these motherfuckers would be ready to kill.
No, and so
and be so efficient.
He's dying, and he crawls over to the big book, and he writes Mabel with his blood in it.
I almost expected Mabel to pop up and save everybody.
Pop up and at least just start wrecking shit.
Yeah.
But
Mabel's dead because Mabel was killed by the, I think, winged demon that we caught a glimpse
of. Is that what that was? I wasn't sure.
Something flew down and tridented her in the head.
Yeah, it would make sense if it was that thing. For a split second, I thought, oh, is that one of them barbarians from the game show? Because they had like a harness on.
Oh.
But nah, probably not. So they're dead.
That's that.
We jump back to
the stone guys.
The camera's still running, and the battery dies, and then it ends. Like, why did we go back there?
Credits. Yeah, I don't know. Because it was the wraparound.
Well, whatever. So yeah, Flying Lotus did some of this, and this felt like a quarantine movie to me.
You think so? Why?
Not like the movie Quarantine.
Have you seen that?
I did.
Have you seen Wreck?
Wreck's much better.
Wreck is amazing.
Wreck is, when they get to that attic,
yeah,
I'm like,
good.
Shit.
That's one of the... I used
Who
to
dropped
champion
Tootsie Rolls all over the floor?
Have you seen Wreck 2?
No, I didn't follow through with that.
You never do that because Wreck 2 is like, guess what? They're demons. They're not zombies. They're demons.
Sure.
Now you gotta fight a devil demon that can crawl in the ceiling and is like... I was so mad when I watched Wreck 2 because Wreck 1's so so good.
Yeah, I think I saw a Wreck, and then a little bit later on, I saw the trailer for Quarantine, and I was like, oh, damn, that looks like Wreck. And then like, oh, they just made the American version.
And I don't really care much for Jennifer Carpenter.
No, what else is she in?
She's from Dexter.
Okay. For some reason, the person in my mind is the gal from the Devolver Digital showcases.
Devolver Digital Showcases?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Devolver Digital is a video game publisher. You ever heard of like Hotline Miami?
I have.
I think they may have published that game. They didn't make it.
Oh, it's a game? I thought it was there's like an 80s crime movie a guy made himself. Maybe Miami Connection.
Okay.
My father! I found my father! Oh my god!
This segment was really, really bad.
I would have been real into it if they just cut it in half. If they just reduced the hell stuff by half. The first part was interesting enough. Getting pulled there. I mean, that demon popping out of the two spots is pretty good.
Yeah, it's just, once they're in hell, it just doesn't look all that impressive.
No, I didn't like being there. I didn't care for it. If it went fast and we got back to the funeral home or whatever the fuck they were in, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough going on there.
Yeah, and I didn't like the guys that were irritating.
They were
arguing. You guys are in hell, surrounded by like demons and suffering people, and you guys are squabbling?
And not only that, but it felt like they didn't take it serious in their performance.
I take it serious. I'm over there slitting my own throat to escape.
No, Jason, it's a movie. Yeah, they were bad. This one was really stupid. Nothing about the Mabel character was...
Yeah, I hated
The
Mabel.
witches were fine. Their get-ups were interesting.
All the funeral home stuff
The
was
fact
good.
that it was just in like the basement where you'd play or something, it just felt very grounded and real. That was probably the best portion of the movie from like a design standpoint.
Are you like regretful you watched this movie? Or are you like, hey, this was a good time?
You've
seen so much fucking trash
can
lately.
Imagine having turned it off if I was just checking it out by myself. I'd have been like, no, this is far too much of it. I think went into capturing the aesthetic of the era, but not enough went into actually devising anything remotely spooky or...
I like the VHS series. I'll watch one every year or two.
No, I would probably watch Annabelle 2 before I'd watch this.
Bummer. Would you watch the Ratman sequence? That one's pretty good,
Maybe.
man, from the last one.
So, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you get any spooky feelings at all?
I mean, I got a little bit of a spooky feeling a spooky feeling of dread when they were going into the colony. I got a little bit of spooky excitement when the demon popped out behind the TV. I was like, all right. I got a little bit of a sexual excitement when that lady took off her shirt.
Yeah, I didn't expect breasts in this.
No, it was a big thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because she, we were sitting there being like, man, she is pretty good looking.
Yeah, I
She
mean,
took off
from
her
what
top.
little you could see.
Yeah, you couldn't really make out a lot.
I'm not like even make out the nudity, just as far as like her face. You don't ever really see her up close.
The dread of getting into the coffin.
Yeah,
these movies kind of work on me, man. They're never perfect. They're never great, but there's usually enough in them that I enjoy them.
It feels like a really high budget 48-hour challenge. I think they excuse away the fact that the scripts are dog shit just because it's like we're watching real people.
I think one of the reviews for it was like it's mostly vibes.
Have you watched Unfriended?
No.
Something about that movie, man. I went in thinking like, oh great, just another cast of bland ass teenagers and shit. But there are significantly long periods of this movie where I'm pretty sure it's like one take with all 5 or 6 of these people in their little webcam video windows. And I'm like, man, this dude's losing his shit here, but it's been slowly building. They must have really spent the time practicing this movie to pull this off. It seems like far more accomplished than it should be. I would say if you compare it to something like this just felt like, man, what a waste of money.
Oh man, bummer. But no, I mean, people like the VHS movies. I like the VHS movies.
I mean, people like Paranormal Activity and all that garbage too, so I'm not surprised, but...
Oh man, why you gonna lump me in there?
I mean, I just wanted to giggle the whole time. It's like, this is...
What's your score?
A spookometer, I'm going to give it a 0. I'll give it a 1 because 0 is not a number. As a film, man, I'll give it a 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does Dread count for spooky?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I give this movie like a 3
Okay.
for on the spookometer.
Yeah.
As like a movie, I mean, I guess a 5.
Okay.
Because I don't expect a lot from these. But I mean, doesn't the game show Ozzy's Dungeon, doesn't that make it worth watching the whole thing?
No, I would watch that if you could.
But you can't just get that. You have to sit through the whole thing. You don't know that one's good.
That's the problem, man.
I'm telling you, Ratman's good from the last one.
Right.
And you're not going to watch that.
No.
No, you're not. It's great. You're not going to watch it.
No interest in
any more.
This movie is just as boring as Paranormal Activity for me. It's like things, except things are actually happening in it. The Trevor sequence was really enjoyable, but I mean, even in and of itself, I'd kind of just be like, I don't know, man.
All right. You can follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
We doing filmographies, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. Or you can email us at wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com.
Yeah, you go to that Twitter, do filmographies.
And I'm going to be honest, I hate Twitter. I hate Facebook. I don't like going to either of those places.
We got a hotline.
Oh, yeah. 763-634-1897. Well, I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
We've been doing filmographies.
Mm-hmm.
Next week's
No,
Norai.
actually, we were doing spookies.
Oh, curse of the Norai.
Curse of the curse.
Next week.